Hi guys, and welcome to another session of my review notes. I figured these were quite useful just because I can pretty much cover anything that I forgot to tell you, because obviously you can get into sessions and you can often forget to tell you something that's incredibly important to what we're doing. So let's kick off. What I'm going to do, because we had them early notes on basic lofting, they were just a warm-up really for you to really appreciate what the real step behind it was. So what I'm going to do is go straight into the advanced notes. I'm not going to pause too long, not going to take a long time, and it's just nice and easy to go that way. So if I go too quick, please pause, whatever. So let's get going. I'm going to go from the top plane. I'm going to go on sketch and sketch. From here I'm going to go to center, track from the middle, come with a vertical line, and then I'm just going to repeat that 3 times. Boom. And let's go for another one. There's just me trying to be cocker. Never mind. I'll go for another one, and we'll come to here. Like that. Now if you remember, this was 130. And they're all 130, so I'm going to go smart dimension. I'm going to come across and go 130 millimeters. I'm in meters again, right? So let me just quickly change that over. So I'm going to go units, meters. Make sure. Now that's what keeps happening as well. If any of you have this, it's really irritating. You ask everything to go into millimeters, but it's in inches. Brilliant. So I'm just going to shift that up and go to millimeters, then go OK. Thank you. Right, so let's get back to it. Got the 130 there. I'm going to press Control, finger on Control. Select on each center line. I'm going to make them equal. So now if this changes, everything else will change with it. Now what I need to do is I just need to make sure I've got the notes, just because I can easily go off on a different tangent, and I sure as hell do not want to do that. So let's get on to the lofting notes. It's the degree I'm looking for, 100 and 120. Oh, get rid of that. So I'm going to go smart dimension here to the center line and go 120. Repeat the same process again to the other side. We're going to go 100. And let's just double check. 100, yep, right. So I'm going to come out with there. Now this line here is going to be where my circle will sit. This line will be the corner rectangle, and this line is going to be my ellipse. So let's spin it around a little bit. Now to make my life easier, I often just flick these on. Well, I can often flick these on, but I know that I'm going to be using these new planes that I'm about to add to be the ones I'm interested in. So let's go features, cross-reference, reference geometry, and we'll go plane. I'm going to go line, point. Puts it perpendicular to the end of the line. This doesn't have to be a line, by the way. It can be a spline or any sort of bizarre curve that you might have. So I'm going to click OK and repeat that process 3 times over here and here. That's because I've got that plane in there, so let me just delete that. Click OK. And then repeat it again, here and here. Again, it complains because I forgot to deselect the plane. My fault, sorry. So first, I'll come from the first plane. I'm going to put my first drawing onto that, and this will be a circle. Circle on this diameter is 135. So what we can do now is bring it in, lock it into its position, bring it across, and I'm going to cut that back. Arguably, I don't really need to do this, but the only reason I did it like this is I wanted you to have a real feel for all these different things that are going on and how frustrating this can be if it doesn't work right. So I've actually made it more complicated than it needed to be, really for that reason. So I'll spin it round to here. Now I saw a few of you this week using center rectangles. Don't do it. Don't do it. This top plane that we've started on is what you would call our ground. So if you use a corner rectangle, it's only going to tie you up in knots, and you're going to end up swearing, and it's not going to be nice. So I'm going to press Control, select my datum from the line, and I'm going to select the bottom horizontal. Whoops, that went horribly wrong. Bottom horizontal. Come on, you swine. Oh, this is embarrassing. Okay, Control and 8. This forces the 2 points into position. Press Control, select the datum, select the horizontal, and you'll see here I have midpoint. Snap that bad boy into position, and let me just check. I'm sure it's 45. Oh, I've done it again. I did this earlier this week. Forgot to put the lines on. We'll do that in a second. 45 and 75. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go 45. We're going to go across, and we're going to go 75. So we've now got that sorted out. Now let's get back to me fixing my bloody problem that I just made. So I'm going to go top plane and sketch. Now obviously it doesn't do shit, so what I want to do is go Control and 8, snaps it into position. I'm going to use my 3-point arc, come from the circle down to the second profile there. So you notice when I moved the line, then it was locating itself. It was telling me where it needed to be. Now this is a 3-point arc. Do not use a tangent arc. Again, it's going to tie you up in knots. I'm actually working from home, so don't judge me when you can hear me smoking the e-cigarette. Well, vaping, I want to say. Anyway. Right, let's get back to it. So I've now got a free line. This line will freely move around its own geometric reference. Come back into that. What I want to actually do is make this tangent. So I'm going to press Control. I'm going to select any one of the 2 center lines. Select my 3-point arc. Boom, tangent. I'm going to repeat the same process again. Come from the center point on the circle. Go down to where my ellipse will be when I do it in a minute. And then I'm going to Control, select my center line, select my 3-point arc, and boom, we've gone tangent again. So then I'll hit OK. So now we've got 2 paths, we've got 2 profiles. We need the 3rd profile, which of course is our ellipse. So I'll come down 35 and 100. Come on to sketch, Control and 8, and we're going to go ellipse. This bad boy over here is our ellipse tool. I'm going to bring it across. Personally, you don't have to do this, but I always trace it against the what will be the X component, then by the Y. And because it's the X, no matter where I put my cursor, it will always track its Y position. So I'm going to go Smart Dimension. I'm going to go to here and then to my datum. This will become 35, and then across to both horizontal points, this will become 100. Now the only thing I've not done yet is I've not trimmed it out, so I'm going to bring in my line and just create that separation. So go trim. I can go power trim or trim to closest. For this I'm just going to trim to closest. Just trims it all back out, makes everything level and makes everything happy. So we're on. This is our profile set. Happy days. So I'm going to go surfaces, loft. Don't forget the leaders. I choose the left leaders, always choose the left leaders, don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to left click on my profile path. Now you see there it's gone on both. Now traditionally what it used to try and do, it will go batshit crazy. It would try and do everything in one hit, it would go absolutely mad. Dassault this year really got this right, so I'm not trying to be a Dassault salesperson, but this is just one of the things that they really got right this year. So click OK, and there we go. As I said, my shiny appearance here is because I'm running a NVIDIA Quadro, and I do like rubbing it in, but hey. And that's where we are there. So we've got our first profile. Now we're going to hit that big issue that's got everybody this week. See, this is my lines. I'm going to turn these back on. So right click. I'm going to go show. And now, if I try and convert that entity from there, it's not going to work as well as I want it to, because it needs every single geometric relationship profile it can. This is a representation of this. It's not the full thing. I know, orange the crap, I know. So, when I asked you to convert the entity, I wasn't asking you to convert from the edge, I was asking you to convert from the sketch. What we should be really starting to notice now is geometry is pointless. It doesn't really matter. It's actually more about the skeleton that sits underneath, the sketch itself. So I'm selected on my second plane, sketch 2, which became my circle. I'm going to convert them entities. That is what we wanted. Now this is great. We're all still related to that original circle. Works really, really well for me, and I'm quite pleased with that. Now the reason I'm converting it and not using this sketch again is because these two leaders are 2 on each side. This leader to this leader, there are 2 here, but there are 4 here. What Dassault System does is tries to amalgamate the 2. But if I split the entities, I can control all leader approach. So what I'm going to do is right click, go to Sketch Tools, Split Entities. And I'll left click here and left click here. For this point, doesn't really matter, because what it's going to do is it's now, hang on a second, let me come out with that, I'll show you. You notice now I can almost select 3 arcs of a single arc. That's because that's what it does. It literally takes a pair of scissors, chops that section out, and allows it now to be separated as separate lines. I'm told that there is a way of fusing these back together. I've never actually seen this, so I mean, I'm sure it's a burning question, but personally I've never actually seen it. So I'll go Smart Dimension. Gonna come into the upper point where my split entity is, lower quadrant to where the leader is, and I'm gonna select the arc. So if I just took the normal dimension, it would actually be a wrong dimension as much as it did look right. So I'll go 35 for my arc length. Repeat the same process up here, down to here, choose the arc length, and I'm going to go 35. Now, the thing is with a Quadro, the one thing that's a real beauty is being able to visualize problems from the start. It's so much easier, so much better. It just makes my life so much easier. So what I'll do is go Lofted. I'm going to use my last sketch that I've just generated, which in this case was 6, and you'll notice here it's got a profile identified here, so that tells me that the leader has been put there. So I'll do the same here. Now somebody did ask me, I'm surprised nobody asked me sooner, what happens when the leaders are wrong? Let me show you. There you go. That's what you get when the leaders are wrong. What it's trying to do is lead from here to here, and it will just go mad. So I'll bring it back, but you'll notice where I've split the entities, the leaders are now connecting. So in other words, I can move this and control this line, which if you're doing a manifold for real, not like a pretend one that we're doing here, but if you're doing one for real, that type of control is vital to be able to take lead on. So what I'll do is now go to guide curves. Now I'm told this will now go crazy. I hope it does go crazy, because it'll be nice to show you. Ah, no it didn't. Right, so what I'm going to do anyway, I'm just going to delete that out. Let's say it does go crazy. You select one of them lines and it just goes, no, can't do it. A good way of solving this, right click, selection manager. Oh my god, this has got me out of so many problems over the years. It's unbelievable. What I can do is go to select groups. Now within select groups it's saying if you've got a grouped sketch with many profiles, just pick one, pick two. You choose what the line will be. So I'll just pick that one and then click OK. And it just pulls that group out. It says there, open group. So that's great, it's great for me, really good for me. So then if I confirm that, that's what I get. Now what I'll do is just now hide these planes, because as far as I remember I don't really need them. Also the sketch I've got showing, let's hide that, and let's hide the initial base sketch, so we can really look at the damage that's just occurred. Interestingly, look at this. I just wanted to prove a point. There is actually no surface damage at all. This all comes from that subtraction problem. It's such a fascinating problem. but when you think about it, it's such a simple problem. I've gone to nip, sorry. I'm going to go to trim surfaces. So let's go mutual. You and you. Whole thing's out there. Right. So now what we're going to do is try and subtract. Now if I go left then right, what that will do is it will pull out specific areas and it will make this damage down here even more severe. Nightmare. So what I'm going to do is go right, confirm, left. Now you notice here it's gone bright red because I didn't finish my mutual. Go there and there. Right, let's do that again. So then we go mutual into there. Now what we can try and do is get down here and repair this for right now, but I don't think it's going to let us. So what I'm going to do is, because I want a smooth transition, I'm just going to confirm that. Then I'm going to go back again and I'm going to go trim. No, not that, you stupid bloody thing. I mean, silly SolidWorks. So I'm going to click on there and click on there. Now I didn't bring that one in, there's no damage. This is my target space here. To aid the subtraction process, I've just brought them two in by themselves, so that by clicking that, if I click OK, it should, like a magic, it is gone. Right, that's happy days, it's gone. Okay, sweet. Right, so let's move on swift. What I'm going to do, go trim again. Oh no, not trim again. What am I talking about? I'm going to go delete face. Now when we delete face, what we're looking to do is just pull out a face completely. Use this sparingly, because if you use it too much, I guarantee it really does destroy your models. So for me, because it's such a large space area, look at that, look at that. See them lines emerging? That's telling me there is damage. Ace. Right, so then I'm going to go delete. And now we're starting to look a bit healthier. Now this is where everybody started to make a few mistakes this week. Now I know in essence, I've actually shown you bad habits already, which is not very good from my perspective, I know, but watch this. Select the whole thing. Right, there are two parts there. What the hell is all that? What is that? That is me actually knitting the needle surfaces together as well. What a bloody nightmare. Right, so I'm going to right click, clear that selection. Now that's what was going on for some this week. I know not for all, but for some. So what I'm actually going to do with this, all I want to do is knit the two lofts that I've got there together. So knit there, knit there. So then I'm going to merge the entities. So let me just check, make sure I can progress without any concern. So we're going to go thicken. Then we're going to go 5mm like this, and then we're going to push it out. Boom, happy days. Everything's thickening as we want it to. So what I'm going to do now is go back and delete. I know it's working, so I don't have to worry. So what I'll do now is, let me just get down to the notes of the... Wow, we've made some progress there, haven't we? We hate. So it's 25 and 55mm. So what I'll do, again, go fillet. And this is a constant, and we're going to go 25. We're going to bring it on this edge, and we're also going to bring it on this edge, like that. This then pushes it round and gives us that smoothness in between that we're after. Happy days. So now we'll finally close this off with a nice 55 and larger structures here, like that. That pops it out. And now we've got a nice finish. Well, I've got a very shiny finish. Right, so I'm going to come back up. The last piece, which is, I don't know, I could call it exhaust, whatever you want to call it. It's 100mm offset, and we've got 70 by 65. And let's have a look, 65 and the width of 27.5, 65, right. So what I'm going to do is go top plane. I'm going to go sketch and sketch. Control and 8, and on that sketch there we knew that it was located from the datum and a centre line, so I've just drawn that in straight away. I know that. I'm going to do a corner rectangle. Now I saw a lot of you this week drawing multiple lines and building it up. Now there's nothing wrong, I mean I totally understand what you were doing, but there is a quicker way. I'm going to press Control, select all my verticals, use that tool that we've learned, symmetric, and let's come back to the sketch, 70 and 65. So I come back, go up to here, go 70, and then I'm going to bring this across, obviously for my 65, and I'm going to make this width 27.5. So I bring this, whoops, okay, 27.5, because I am being super lazy there. There we go. So now, that gives us the overall. However, we've got a 12.5 radius. The reason the radius is there is because I've actually done it by a fillet. So I'm going to go 12.5 and simply click on each edge like that. Happy days. Now the reason I put it on the top plane is I just wanted to reiterate what I did, because I appreciate that some of you didn't get to the end of these notes, and it's a useful tool what I did, so that's why I'm putting it specifically into these review notes. So I'm going to go on to surface extrude the surface. We know that we're going to do a draft of 5 degrees. Now, because I made the mistake, well, I purposely made the mistake. So if I go offset, I'm actually going to set this offset to 100 millimeters, which was conventionally the plane offset I was talking about. So then I'm going to come back, I'm going to go up to surface. Now, because we've knitted this together, straight away up to surface. However, because I've done an offset, you know the draft is now facing inwards. I need to draft it outwards, just because I've offset it and it's a bit confused. Basically, I'm messing with SolidWorks. Shit. So we've still got that point there. We need to get rid of that. So I'm going to go trim, and I can either go standard or mutual. I think I can go standard on this one. So take that, and I'm going to see if it will let me remove the middle. So I'm going to go remove to that section, and now we're good. Now you could knit these together. The fillet on this case is 12.5. Now you could knit these together to do it. This is just something else you will need to get used to. I'm going to go fillet, face fillet. Let's go 12.5, and we're going to go for an outside face and come the same face beneath. Imagine this as a draft. It's looking for a pull direction and which way to pull the fillet. I know it sounds crazy, but it's which way it wants to pull that fillet. So if I pull it outwards, it can do that. Now, somebody asked me this week, what if you wanted to keep that face and also the face beneath? Let's go into fillet. Expand fillet options. Trim and attach. Don't trim or attach. It will actually create you a separate surface fillet face for you to extract print or whatever it is. You may need to be able to get a corner, and if it's a multiple step like this, it's just a total nightmare. So you need to be able to do these things. Right, we're into a further phase now. So I've now knitted it, I've now filleted it, I've now got everything pretty much happy. So if I go to thicken, and if I go thicken 5 millimeters, that 5 millimeters now gives me, come on, oh, I didn't think it was going to work then. Okay, so you got the thickened part. Now, there is still some underlying problems that we haven't dealt with. We have all of these. So if I press Control, select all of that. Oh, if I select the top one, press Shift and then select them all. That, see how they're glowing? They are our needle surfaces. we still do really need to get rid of them. They can't really exist there. They can't stay there. So what I'm going to do is go insert features, delete body. What I'll do is go to surfaces, this one, 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 and this one. If I click OK, that now is fully converted. All the needle surfaces are removed, and we are looking pretty good. Yeah, looking pretty good. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you've been able to progress nicely forwards with that. There's a lot of things to notice, a lot of things to keep in mind, but yeah, looking pretty good. If there are any questions, please come and see me. Drop me an email. If you didn't manage to get to the end of this one and there's something still bugging the crap out of you, please get in touch. It's not an issue, and I can try and help. And I'll speak to you very soon, guys.